Jonathan Frakes' career changed drastically after playing Commander Riker in Star Trek. After Thunderbirds bombed in 2004, Hollywood blacklisted him overnight. Studios stopped calling. He had to sell something. A store built by his wife helped keep things moving. He called movie jail and gone from film for nearly 20 years. Hollywood tried to hide what happened next. Jonathan Frakes was born at a modest Bellefonte, Pennsylvania hospital on August 19, 1952. His parents lived in State College, but all the babies were born in Bellefonte. Jonathan joked that Penn State lecturers visited him there other than to see the baby. Because Bellefonte had booze stores and State College didn't, his father, James, was a respected English professor, and his mother, Doris, was a passionate teacher. When Jonathan was 5, his family moved to Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, after his father accepted a job at Lehigh University. Jonathan and his younger brother Daniel grew raised there. Daniel died of pancreatic cancer in 1997. Jonathan got a trombone in 4th grade. Not his choice. He had long arms, but that chance pick started a lifelong music obsession. Jonathan quickly took to jazz after his father introduced it. He joined Bethlehem's famous Liberty High School Grenadier Band. At the 1970 Festival of States in Florida, they earned field and parade honors. The mayor renamed a city thoroughfare after them. Jonathan liked that moment. He thought the band was better than the football squad, and people came for halftime shows. He majored in psychology at Penn State after high school. That ended quickly. While ushering at a theatrical festival one summer, a director invited him to join a show. Jonathan switched majors to theater arts after seeing the actors having fun. He later joked that a theater degree was impractical but revolutionized his life. He joined Penn State's Thespians, performed incessantly, and scarcely slept, but he liked it. Jonathan attended Harvard for training after getting his BFA in 1974. He studied professional acting at the Loeb Drama Center and worked with theatrical groups in the summers. He claimed students could be hired for the cast. He learned a lot from elder performers and directors in this important profession. That discipline and hands-on experience prepared him for pro. Jonathan Frakes earned a Penn State Theater Arts degree in 1974. He moved to NYC, like thousands of other performers, to pursue a dream. But New York made it difficult. He damaged his back waiting tables and moving furniture. He played minor roles in improbable ragtime theater and Eugene O'Neill's The Hairy Ape. He finally appeared on Broadway in Shenandoah in 1976. He dressed as Captain America for Marvel Comics at conventions, one of his oddest gigs. It wasn't glamorous, but it taught him how to handle fans, which will help him later. His breakthrough came in 1977. NBC's The Doctors cast him as Vietnam veteran Tom Carroll. His wage was stable for a spell, but the role ended. His agent suggested Los Angeles once his role was written. He packed up again and headed west in 1978. That's where things changed gradually. L.A. gave him additional TV opportunities, but he didn't become famous immediately. Charlie's Angels, Fantasy Island, The Waltons, Quincy M.E., and the Dukes of Hazzard featured him as a guest. Though little, these jobs helped him establish himself. He showed up, learned, and proved himself at each audition. Beach Patrol was his 1979 TV role. The pilot for a new show failed. Yet another dead end. He starred with Robin Strand and Christy DeLille in a film produced by Aaron Spelling, but it failed. Frakes worked on many pilots that were never picked up, like many Hollywood performers. He kept working, but the big break seemed far away. He believed he found it in 1983. Based on a successful miniseries, NBC cast him in Bare Essence, a primetime soap. The show was canceled soon after it started, since the audience didn't care about the tremendous risk. Another setback, but this time it was good. He met Jeanie Francis on set. They first didn't click. He made fun of her hair, but fate had other plans. After 2 years, they reunited on the huge Civil War miniseries North and South in 1985. After 6 months of filming in the South, something snapped. Their relationship and Frakes' next great career chapter began. North and South was popular, and Frakes was Stanley Hazard. He finally gained attention. 1987 followed. Jeanie and her family persuaded Frakes to audition for a new sci-fi show. After 6 weeks and 7 auditions, he landed the position. On Star Trek: The Next Generation, he played Commander William Riker. Everything changed then. Years of struggle, canceled series, and forgotten pilots led to this. He and Jeanie were engaged, but his shooting schedule delayed the wedding twice. But they succeeded. They married during the show's first break on May 28, 1988. Jonathan Frakes wasn't the obvious Commander William Riker in 1987. He fought for it. The part may have gone to Billy Campbell, Michael O'Gorman, or Jeffrey Combs. Star Trek founder Gene Roddenberry intervened while the company was considering another candidate. Frakes reminded him of himself. He didn't support him silently, he called. He pushed hard, and Frakes got the part. Years later, Frakes said Roddenberry saw himself in Riker. Possibly more. Frakes accidentally invented the Riker technique on the show, which became a legend. It wasn't designed to seem cool. Set seats were low and awkward. He flung his leg over the back instead of sitting. It appeared bold, possibly too bold. Frakes quipped that maybe it was a dumb move, but fans loved it. Became something. Jack Quaid imitated it in Lower Decks by shouting Riker while mounting a saddle. Another insurrection. Riker maneuver included battle tactics. While watching the best of both worlds, something unexpected happened. Riker, played by Jonathan Frakes, was no longer the cool second-in-command. He faced another sharp person. Commander Shelby, Elizabeth Dennehy. This calm tension permeated their scenes. Rolling his eyes, Riker. Shelby persisted. Fans adored it. People recalled the programs when they aired in theaters years later. Someone yelled, "Read it, girl," as Shelby challenged Riker in the elevator. Not just a joke. Their chemistry was strong. The audience felt it. People imagined a show with Riker as captain and Shelby as his first. You wondered what could have been. Not merely a story twist, it revealed a different Riker, questioning if he was ready for the big chair. Not everything in Star Trek was serious. Jonathan Frakes said something shocking. He said Roddenberry warned him not to smile. It was ludicrous, Frakes remarked. He laughed afterward. They cast me and told me not to smile. The truth? There were several jokes on set. The cast was loud, silly, and always laughing. Frakes, Patrick Stewart, and Brent Spiner wanted that enthusiasm on screen. They liked the old three. Bones, Spock, and Kirk craved the same spark. They delivered more than lines, teased each other, rolling their eyes. Fun was had. You could feel that relationship in every episode. It went beyond acting. Real friendship infused their characters. Jonathan Frakes knew the producers didn't take him seriously when he wanted to helm a Star Trek: The Next Generation episode. Show executive producer Rick Berman didn't say no. Frakes saw it in his face. That doubtful gaze persisted. Instead of arguing, Frakes went quiet and worked. He trained for months. He spent approximately 300 hours in editing rooms, casting sessions, and pre-production meetings. He brought a 47-page presentation. Everything was there. Hand-drawn storyboards. That documents camera settings and character breakdowns gave it the Riker Directive label. Once Berman looked at it, something changed. Frakes created his own chance, not just asked for one. He directed The Offspring, an emotive narrative about Data building an android daughter first. It was hard. While playing Commander Riker, Frakes had to direct and act. Scene after scene, he ran from behind to in front of the camera in his Starfleet uniform under a director's jacket. He worked 18-hour days. He barely slept, but succeeded. The March 1990 episode was one of the series' most praised. Even then, Frakes wasn't happy with his episode acting. He requested editors to shorten his scenes. He was so intent on directing. "I like it better," he said. "I direct better than perform." Not everyone believed him immediately. Some of his castmates didn't know how to react to him making decisions. Patrick Stewart was polite in public, but doubted actors could direct other performers. The first morning, Marina Sirtis didn't look at him. She worried about the episode's love storyline making things unpleasant. Data actor Brent Spiner brought extra notes to defend his character. Frakes managed everything. Rank wasn't pulled. His focus was performance. He observed. Stewart reconsidered after 2 days. He and Sirtis laughed again. Spiner hid his notes. Each actor realized Frakes had done something they hadn't. His training was for this. They missed his stealth guiding. For Riker scenes, he arrived 90 minutes early to prepare every perspective. His shot lists were ready. He had discussed everything with the cinematographer beforehand. He watched footage in the editing area over lunch as the staff took breaks. Nobody requested it. Just did it. He kept things moving well without appearing arrogant. Frakes had a camera hidden. He went to the Warp Core, a small pub, after filming, with show photography director Marvin Rush. Rush taught him cinematography using bar napkins while they sipped Macallan 18 for hours. Lighting, angles, and composition occurred between beers and scribbles. Frakes saved dozens of napkins. 13 remained framed in his office. Paramount sought a Star Trek director, First Contact. He wasn't their first pick. Sir Ridley Scott and John McTiernan had declined. Nobody knows Star Trek better than Frakes. He got the tone, characters, and world, so Paramount hired him. 10 weeks to prepare, 12 weeks to shoot for Frakes. From television, where each process took 7 days, this was a big change. He studied Jaws, Close Encounters, and 2001 for preparation. A space voyage. Even considered James Cameron and Ridley Scott. He understood the stakes were high. Not only TV anymore. Creating the Borg Queen was a huge change. The writers wanted the Borg to remain dumb, but Paramount's president, Jonathan Dulgan, insisted on a corporeal, talkable foe. The Borg Queen was conceived then. Casting her was difficult. Someone scary, seductive, spooky, and intriguing was needed. In Alice Kraj, Frakes found that. She suited the part. She had pale complexion, wire hair, and an odd elongated head after hours of makeup. Her entrance moment, where her upper body is lowered and linked to her spine, was the film's most memorable. ILM took 5 months on that shot. Everything in First Contact was bigger than TV. Once-hour Borg makeup now takes 5. Costume time added 30 minutes. Remove it, 90 more. Missing 20 artists out of 50 needed. Wires, gunk, and makeup intensified throughout the film. Borg appeared to be leaking oil. It frightened them, built a contraption to lower Craig's body, and used a blue costume and digital trickery to make her appear to be floating for the Queen sequence. Boldness paid off. First Contact succeeded. Fans and critics adored it. Even Patrick Stewart rated it the best-looking Star Trek film. Frakes then directed Star Trek: Insurrection. Lightning didn't strike twice. Not as good a sequel. Mixed reviews. Story felt flat. Stewart later thought Nemesis, which Frakes didn't direct, improved. A disappointment. It hindered Frakes' momentum. Thunderbirds followed in 2004. Great movie, great hopes. A well-known brand, a solid cast, Bill Paxton, Ben Kingsley, and a decent budget. But the picture bombed. Critics dismantled it. Audiences shied. Frakes later reported no one answered his calls following Thunderbirds. He called film jail. He had to sell. He left London for Maine. A store built by his wife helped keep things moving. The reset was harsh. He hasn't directed a picture since, more than 20 years ago, but he persisted. Returned to TV, Star Trek, and his roots. He directed new Star Trek and The Librarians episodes. He said TV become a place where everyone can take a poo and nobody cares who directed it. It wasn't flashy, but solid. Jonathan Frakes didn't intend to fall in love on film. In 1985, he was working on the Civil War miniseries North and South. He was barely noticed at 32. Jeanie Francis arrived. She was famous working with Patrick Swayze and Leslie Ann Down. All was professional at first. While filming in Charleston and Natchez, something changed. They visited New Orleans during Memorial Day break. Then everything clicked. Interestingly, they met on the set of a short-lived sitcom called Bare Essence. Frakes thought she was too young. She was 20. He was almost 30. The timing was improper then. North and South gave them another chance, and it worked. Frakes says she took a chance on me. Why she went out with me is unknown. The couple married on May 28, 1988, more than 38 years ago. An eternity in Hollywood years. Jeanie didn't need to be on Star Trek. Pop culture had made her famous. She's played Laura Collins on General Hospital for over 890 episodes since 1977. She was more famous when they met. Frakes gained famous when he played Commander Riker in Star Trek: The Next Generation. They supported each other throughout. Frakes repeats lines with her to help her remember those harsh soap opera filming days with 30 pages of dialogue. They had 2 kids. Their daughter Eliza writes and acts like them. Despite its success, Frakes has suffered a loss. He lost his brother Daniel to pancreatic cancer in 1997. His age was 41. It happened a week before Frakes' daughter's birth. Daniel was more than a sibling, his best pal. The couple moved to New York in a beat-up 1967 Chevy Sport van. They had big goals and small apartments. Daniel's Whipple operation failed because the cancer had spread too far. They sealed him. Medical professionals felt hope was lost. Maybe 6 months. Pancreatic cancer survival was 4% at the time. Frakes was devastated but didn't let it stop. PanCan, the pancreas, has employed him for 25 years. Cancer Action Network to promote awareness and improve results. His personal mission became public. He founded Trek Against Pancreatic Cancer in 2022 with Star Trek stars. They walked for a cause alongside Armin Shimmerman, 18-year survivor Kitty Swink, and John Billingsley. They walk in 60 cities for the PanCan Purple Stride fundraiser on April 29th. Frakes usually begins in Santa Monica Pier. Their team raised tens of thousands for research and assistance. Things are improving thanks to efforts like these. The survival rate has risen from 4% to 11 to 12%. Still bad, but improved. PanCan has spent $174 million on research. They awarded $10.5 million in research grants in 2022, part of a record $25 million year.